Alright, it's time to talk about the 8th entries of these 8 franchises. Wrong Turn's gone and Final Destination's gone, and this will be the last one with Leprechaun. So after this, Leprechaun's out. And I believe Leatherface will be out after this. So this is the last one for Texas Chainsaw Massacre and Leprechaun. So 8 movies to choose from here. What's my least favorite of these 8 franchises? Easy peasy, for me at least, it's Hellraiser Hellworld. I did not enjoy this one at all. I remember it being very meta. This is one I've only seen once. I think, yeah, this is the only one out of all 8 that I've seen once. So a little unfair, but I never want to revisit this movie ever again. Pinhead's not even in it, really. It's very confusing, too, because it's like he's known in the movie. It's kind of like a Scream movie. It's very meta. Everybody's wearing like Cenobite masks, and they're at a Cenobite party thrown by Lance Henriksen. And then, all the movies are just movies. But then at the very end, the Cenobites are real. Like, which one is it? So it's movies based on true events? Like, what's going on here? And so yeah, it's just another one of those endings where it's like nothing ever happened, none of the deaths were real, they died in coffins, spoiler, but it's so fucking obvious the way they go about trying to make that twist a twist. It's like you see it coming. Nothing to be gained from this experience at all. I can't remember anything other than it has Henry Cavill in it. So you got Superman and Lance Henriksen, and that's it. Like a minute of Pinhead, and that's it. Nothing to be gained here. So I do not recommend watching Hellworld. It's my least favorite Hellraiser, and that's why it's at the bottom at number 8. Number 7 goes to the most hated movie of this franchise, and one of the most hated movies of all time, and that is Halloween Resurrection. I do not hate this movie, but I certainly don't really enjoy it that much. I've probably only seen it a handful of times in my life, but I enjoy some aspects of it. I like that they rebuild the Myers house, and it actually looks the closest to the Myers house since the first 2 movies that actually used it. I don't think it was ever used again, because in 4 and 5 they shot that in Utah, and 5 especially they actually go to the Myers house. And it looks nothing like it. 6, yeah, in 6 they actually go back to the Myers house, right? That's the house they move in part 6. So yeah, but yeah, they rebuild the Myers house. That's cool. The Mask, not that good. Not the worst. Brad Lorry, again, not the worst Myers to me, but definitely nowhere near the top of my ranking. Wish I did, if you want to check that out. But yeah, Trick or Treat motherfucker, Kung Fu kicking Myers out the window, the bullshit type of evil lives on ending that just is so lazy. There's no impact, there's no effect that ending has. It's just like roll your eyes, like, oh my god, this shit again. Like, evil lives on. His eyes pop open, and that's the last that we ever see of this OG Myers, this original Myers from the original timeline, or I guess this would be the second timeline. So yeah, whatever. It's like, are they ever gonna make a sequel to this? I would be curious. Out of all the different direct sequel ideas out there, I'm probably the most curious about where we could go from here, after here or part 6. Speaking of 6, my number 6 will be Leatherface, the prequel. I actually rewatched this one for this ranking, and this was the second viewing. I saw it in January 2018, a few months after it came out, and this is not a Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie, and this isn't even really a prequel. There's not much being explained away, oh, that's why he became Leatherface. I don't get the transition of Leatherface in this movie. He's just this normal looking kid, kind of, handsome. He's not ugly or anything. He's not intimidating at all. And then he's supposed to turn into Gunnar Hansen's Leatherface. Makes no sense. At the end, he just, boom, gets shot right in the face, and then he's just crazy. There's no real character development on any of these characters in this movie. There's a lot of cutaway kills. There's some good gore in this movie. I think Steven Dorff is the best part of the movie. He's the most interesting character. You get why he's crazy, and you root for him in some scenes, but then he kind of goes a little too far, a little too crazy in the end, attacking the wrong people. But this is a road trip movie, and it's not a Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie, so that's probably why a lot of people don't like it. This is very 50-50 with the fans. Number 5 will go to Jason Takes Manhattan, or as some people like to jokingly say, Jason Takes a Boat, or Jason Takes Vancouver. or so on and so forth. Takes a boat to Vancouver. I enjoy this one. I got some nostalgia for it. I have a shit ton of problems with it that I will get into later on in my review for it this summer. Look out for that. But I like King Hodder in this movie. I'm not crazy about the slime Jason look. It's okay, but at some point he needs to dry off, seriously. Couple of memorable kills. Julius getting the head boxed off is one of the most memorable kills of the entire franchise, and definitely probably one of the best kills in this movie. And that's about it. It's got one of the weakest final girls. I don't even remember her name. Like, her connection to Jason is bullshit. Like, oh, she saw him as a kid, and what? It just feels so shoehorned in just to like make her have some kind of history with Jason, and the way Jason looks in this movie. That the whole kid thing, like, what the fuck's up with that? He doesn't look like a mongoloid. Then he kind of does, and then he looks almost Asian. What the fuck was going on there? Like, he looks weird, and then he melts down to a boy. Yada yada. I could go on for hours, and I will. Trust me in my review. Number 4, halfway there, Leprechaun Returns. I love that this one is actually a sequel to the first one. I would have liked Warwick Davis to come back, but unfortunately he's done with horror movies for now. Hopefully he'll come back into that arena sometime soon. But this Leprechaun, he's okay. I feel like he laughs a little too much. I find this laugh a little annoying. Also annoying is some of the characters in this movie and just their dialogue. They just seem too annoying. They're just dumbasses. Some of them are just too dumb. It's more of a comedy than horror, but most of these Leprechaun movies are. The gore is on point. There's a lot of good gore effects. They're funny, over the top, and gnarly. I like that slicing in half kill, the decapitation with the drone. I like that this movie actually takes place at the same house as the first one. They do a good job like recreating it. And they bring back Ozzy, which is cool. Lots of good things about it. It's a fun horror comedy. And if you love good special effects, then this is the one to look for. And if you're a fan of horror comedies, you can't go wrong here. Number 3 goes to Jigsaw. Spoiler alert, just in case you haven't noticed, I will be talking spoilers. I like that this movie is a prequel sequel. I like that twist. I like Eleanor, she's gorgeous. And I like the laser trap. I mean, these movies are all known for the traps and the twists, and this movie has a great twist and it has some cool traps. The whole like blender trap and the leg getting chopped in like 3 pieces and like the silo thing with like the grain coming down. Awesome. And like characters you want to die. There's no real characters to root for in here, but I enjoy it. It's one of the better looking Saw movies. They take away that green yellow filter and it looks like the most like theatrical, like big budgeted like Saw movie out of all of them. The Spirit Brothers did a good job. I enjoy this movie, but not as much as my number 2. My number 2 is Freddy vs. Jason. I saw this back when it came out, not at theaters, but as soon as it went to DVD. I remember my family, for some reason, actually rented it, and we all sat down and watched it. This movie has badass fights between Jason and Freddy. I like that they actually fight in Freddy's world and in the real world. It's almost like a WWE match, the way Freddy's like dropping elbows on Jason. I don't like the look of Jason all that much in this movie. It looks like a big old black rubber mask. It just looks fake. And he walks like a zombie because he is a zombie, but there's like no personality to him at all. There's nothing that Ken Kersinger brings to the role that makes him look badass or all that menacing. He's just tall, and that's it. He's the tallest Jason, and that's all that he brings to the role is a couple more inches, and that's it. Freddy, I like the look of Freddy. The makeup is the best since part 3. It started to go downhill from like 4 to 5 to 6. Finally, they brought it back to the original look. It looks the best since the first couple of movies. A lot of people love the look of 2. I like the look in the first 3, but yeah, 4, 5, 6, horrible makeup. This brought back the tone of Freddy. You know, his evil side and his comedic side is very well balanced in this one too. It's the closest to like 3 again, just like the makeup. And Freddy only gets 1 kill, so that's a letdown. But the story, I feel like he gets the story focus and Jason gets the kills. Because after all, Friday the 13th isn't about story, it's about kills. And Nightmare on Elm Street is more about the story and Freddy Krueger haunting people in their dreams. So it makes sense that the story is more on Freddy. But if you're a Freddy fan, you would like to see Freddy kill a few more people. He gets his kills stolen from Jason left and right, gets pissed off about it like a kid playing Call of Duty, like, you stole my fucking kills. It reminds me of that all the time, because I used to play Call of Duty all the time, and that was something that you would hear people say all the time when you play that game. It's like, you stole my kill. If it was your kill, you would have gotten it. But my number one, my favorite movie from these, call me crazy, I don't give a fuck, the Child's Play remake. I was surprised at how much I liked this movie. I love it. I've seen it over a half a dozen times by now. Lots and lots of times. I even throw it on as like background noise. I throw it on to fall asleep to. Just something to watch every now and then. I love it. I like the new angle, the new story, seeing Andy and Chucky actually having a good relationship instead of them like trying to run away from each, like him running away or trying to kill Chucky. Just we don't want to see the same thing. If you're gonna remake a movie, this is how you remake it. You take elements from the original, the good guy doll, the look of the doll, and you update things. You update the story, and that's exactly what they did, and I loved it for it. I love the cinematography in this movie. I like the humor in it. It all worked for me. I still laugh every time I watch it when he scares like Shane when he's pissing and piss like fault bounces up, hits him in the face. Some of the kills are they're the best in the franchise. The whole Christmas lights kill, it gets all his head gets mulched up, and then they use his face to put on a pumpkin. It's like a callback to Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. So I like that. Them watching that movie like comes back into play later on, and his face becomes like a plot device, and he has to like get the head back from like the neighbors down the hall. Doreen's a funny character. I love her character, and I love that they make her such a likable character and they kill her off, so it actually has some impact. You're like, oh shit, now I'm not rooting for Chucky, because you root for him when he's killing, the dickhead stepdad and the pervy like janitor, but then he kills Doreen, yeah, I think her name's Doreen. And then you're like, oh shit, now he's really evil. So the third act could have been a little bit like stretched out a little bit more, like have more, action in it, more gore. All the people getting like dragged away, killed by the teddy bears. They could have been, there could have been a lot more there that I wish they would have done. Maybe they did and they cut it all out, but why wouldn't they release that shit on the DVD and Blu-ray, like deleted scenes? There's no deleted scenes, and there's no alternate ending. There's nothing that I've heard of. That's unfortunate. I like the Buddy song. It gets stuck in your head. I know a lot of people don't like it, but I like it. I like it a lot. And the soundtrack, easily the best score of the entire franchise. This franchise wasn't known for having a score. It changed from movie to movie. Speaking of which, the guy who scored Child's Play 2 scored Freddy Vs. Jason, which I was just talking about. But this score by Bear McCreary, the best. I have it on vinyl. It sounds amazing, and I listen to it every now and then. So yeah, the look of the doll, not that good. I hope they update that, and the sequel, like, hey, here's the Buddy 3 doll or the Buddy 4. It looks a lot better now. They can fix that, easy writing. So Child's Play 2019 is my number one. I love it. I don't care what you think. People will dislike the video no matter what I say, whether I love it or hate it, doesn't matter, so fuck you. I love it, not gonna lie, not gonna hide my feelings. This is about my opinion, and that's what it is. So fuck you haters. But anyways, now that I'm done rambling, put your thoughts in the comments below. What is your number one of these 8 movies? List them from best to worst, worst to best, let me know. And thank you so much for joining me tonight. If you like what you've seen, you can hit this like button, share it with all your friends, become a Patreon for as little as $1 a month to request movie reviews, and you can become a subscriber if you haven't done so already, just by clicking on my cartoon face in about 5 seconds. And until next time, auf Wiedersehen.